just a little bit of an update on the whole wheel bearing and the wheel coming off. So basically what happened was the wheel bearing that we had mounted on the trailer just separated. So it was an old used one off of our truck, and the truck has 100,000 miles on it, 24 years old, so it's possible it was going bad and we were just trying to get away from buying a new one to put in. But basically it just separated, and that's what caused the wheel to come off. This stayed in the wheel, and this is bolted to the trailer. So what we did was just bought a new hub assembly that we mounted to the trailer. It mounted right up with the other one, has the same um, pattern for the bolts here, and used the same threads and everything, so it bolted right on. And then put the tire on, and it's good to go again. So just kind of want to give a quick update on that and kind of what happened. I know I didn't get a whole lot of video after that happened, just it was the end of the day. We were trying to get out of the woods, so basically what we did was we just took the trailer and drug it out of the woods. We tried to use the tractor to pick it up on the way in, but just trying to do that with pulling it with the auger and the tractor and keep it all together. We ended up just dragging it out, getting it back here to the house, and then fixing it. So the deal with this and the tire coming off, so able to just replace that and get it going again. May have to touch up the underside of that because from dragging it on the ground probably wore off some of the paint. But we'll get that touched up, and looking at getting back out to where we were to pick up the other piece of hickory. So as far as process goes, the process worked fairly well, meaning that, you know, the winch did it was supposed to, it pulled the lug on, and everything, so that part worked well. And it was a pretty decent hill that we were going up, and it even, I mean, the otter pulled that thing fine, and it was pretty heavy. So so as far as that part goes, very happy with how all that functioned. Just had this faulty wheel bearing again. It was used and everything. So so we put a new one on, and we'll kind of monitor and see if we have a similar issue again. If we do, then we may have to come up with an actual axle to kind of put across to better support the wheels and everything. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Like I said, we hope to go back and pick up the other part of that log pretty soon. So that'll be a pretty good test to see how it does. Welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. So we've gotten the log trailer all fixed up. We're back over here at Pendle Farms, and going to do a little bit more cleanup on some fence rows, and see about putting this log trailer to the test and see if we have any more issues. So the trees that we've been dealing with are to the left here, that hickory, but had some fence row we need to deal with to the right to begin with. So took the trailer down, or the tractor down this direction, and cleared up a treetop that had fallen. This one didn't fall directly on the fence, but fell next to it on the path that is utilized to get around. So did a little bit of cutting to be able to get this picked up and just put it off to the side. So go down a pretty good hill here and have a tree top that had broken out along with a couple of other trees down. So we'll work on getting those cleaned up. So here I had to start by doing a little bit of handwork before we could get the tractor in there. You can tell here it's on a pretty decent slope along with a little bit of a cant. So down here finally gets flattened out to where you can actually kind of work without feeling kind of unsteady. But this is part of a ash tree that fell that took out another piece of tree, so kind of getting some of that separated out and then just kind of putting it off in the woods. Really need to get around to the other side to be able to kind of get to the tree that fell to the left here, so just kind of trying to get some of this cleaned up to be able to get around. Anything that can be saved as firewood I tried to kind of put to the side. Not something that we're going to work on getting out today, but something that someone could eventually come back and get. It's good wood. It was still alive when it fell, so it'll be good. Just putting it off to the side so it's not mixed in with all the brush that we're getting here. So here, it's been down for a little bit, so I thought I could take and just grab the treetop and finish pulling it down, but it just kept breaking off. So end up kind of with what it's stuck in, end up working on getting on the top side of this and pushing it down. But while I'm here, I get the rest of the ash that's kind of dead and mealy out from there. And then here, just using the tractor to push on this tree as Dad cuts it. Trying to get it on the ground fully, but able to kind of get it there, and then just use the grapple as kind of a spot to hold there so that piece didn't want to come down. So this camera angle is actually from the other side of that path. The one that we were going through, we stirred up a bee's nest and couldn't get through that area, so we came around from the other direction and just working on kind of clearing out section of fence there between where we were to about where the bees are. So just trying to make it so he can drive all the way around this fence row and do a little bit of cleanup. So just kind of in that clearing ahead is where we were. It's just where the bees and everything were, so just kind of got as close as could, sweeping stuff off without getting too close. So this is headed back over to where we were, kind of through the woods, and getting that hickory picked up. So this is the area that we used the log trailer last time, and had gotten the hickory out, and then the wheel fell off. So here we're just working on getting it cleaned up a little bit so we can get down in there and work on getting the next log put on. This log actually weighed enough even though it wasn't connected to anything. It was just dragging the auto and the trailer back, so it's not that it was spinning the wheels, it was actually just dragging it back even with the parking brake on. But I was able to kind of pick up the end of it a little bit to get it further on, and then just kind of use the backhoe to push it back and forth so it doesn't get hung up on anything. We have kind of gotten a little bit better solution for loading some of this that I'll show in a later video as we kind of finesse our technique for getting logs on. But this is a pretty good hill here. That the top of the front of the auto is pointed uphill. How long did you go on this one? I don't know if you're gonna make it. Yeah. Do you have any tongue weight? So the round that we're talking about there is actually one that we end up utilizing as the cookie. So we cut some cookies out of that one in a future video. It's not a perfect piece of wood, but it's something that we can use to test. Here we have several logs that are still back there, probably just kind of firewood size, maybe a couple that are millable, but we're working on just stacking those on the trailer to get them pulled up the hill into the open. This is where it'd be nice to have the pockets, or the logs in the pockets, so that you can kind of stack against those and not worry about it coming against the tire. But for now you can just kind of stack a couple on the bottom and then one on the top to hold it all together. And then we do have a chain that we can put around it, ratchet it down just so that as we go up this hill, stuff doesn't want to slide off the back. So here's a look out the back of the auto as he went up the hill. So have that round in the back that we end up cutting cookies out of, and like I said, the few pieces that we have there. So here's just kind of our staging area that we've been putting logs, whether it be firewood or logs that will end up on the mill. Just kind of been working on getting these unloaded here. Had to shift myself over so I had the kind of the correct angle, and then get this chunk out of the back. So here we're back around to a fairly large piece of poplar. It's another tree that came down in the storm. It's actually big enough that the 62 wasn't super happy about picking that up, but we cut a 14-foot piece there and then cut like a 12-foot piece. I think this one's actually maybe a 16-foot. Try putting it on the trailer, but there's just no way we can get it far enough forward to have any tongue weight. So we went ahead and left that one. We'll have to get another trailer back here, but we're able to put that one on and have sufficient tongue weight to where it's not too bad. If we didn't have to go so far, we wouldn't be quite as worried about the other one, but as you can see here, it's a pretty good trip out and have to cross the creek a couple times. So again, weight wise, Otter had no issue pulling this even up some of the hills and everything, but with only a 10-foot trailer, some of those really long pieces end up dragging or just don't have enough tongue weight to put forward, even though we've moved the wheels back once. And then we head back over to another section here, do a little bit of clearing here to get this opened up, but I have a whole video that goes through getting this section to open up, and to the left of this, down that hill, there's like 5 or 6 trees that need to be taken out and cleaned up, so I have a whole video that goes over getting all that cleaned up and how we get that done. And then while we're here, there's kind of the top of a tree that we need to get cut, and then because the entire top of that tree is gone, end up just cutting that down because it's not going to become anything. Like I said, we ended up just cutting that down because it was pretty broken out, so it wasn't going to amount to much of a tree anyway. So that's where we're going to stop today. Have more over here at Pendle Farms in the future, so be on the lookout for those. Thanks for watching the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.